Hey guys, welcome to the Words of Woodsman podcast. We're still sitting here, no AC again this week, and Randy decided to wear a long sleeve. So if he falls out,
Take much longer.
it may not take much
Might
longer.
as well put the hood on. Go all in.
So,
You can't tell when I passed out my eyes.
so Andy, you were just sharing just a second ago. So last episode, a week ago, you got back from your trip, and so you didn't tell us what you did at your house while you were gone. So
Yeah, so just to take a couple steps back, as part of some of the activities we do at church, we like to pick on some of the leaders. So I created kind of a unofficial prank group. And remember that
this is a group. You have a group of people.
there's three of us.
There's
It's
three of you.
It's,
three of us.
You got to be part of it. If you're not
Yeah.
part
It's a
of it,
secret
you
club. I don't know if I want to be in that
don't-
club.
Fight club. This.
Yeah, number one rule we don't talk about.
We don't talk about,
But we
Fight
will
Club.
for today.
Okay.
But anyway, so at prior events, we've done some good pranks on folks. The problem is I become a target. So I had somebody house sit for me, and everybody knew I was leaving town. So when I came back, there was some hilarious pictures that replaced every picture I had in the house. Not one or two.
Every one of them.
The ones in my bedroom of my wedding, like there was some interesting photos scattered all about. So that was pretty funny. So the same person came to dog sit, and her name is Kendall. I hope she watches, but she came to house sit again. But I was prepared this time.
Well, hold on. You retaliated.
Well, I prepared for this time that she was coming to house sit.
You were ready for it.
I was ready. And so I figured that she would be working late and be coming in, probably be a little tired. And so in the guest bathroom, which is what she would use, I had mouse traps set in the bathtub, and then every little spot that you could put your hand at if you were trying to balance yourself stepping into a bathtub that had mouse traps
Oh,
at the bottom.
no.
Okay, so if she were to come in stumbling, go to step, be like, oh, there's a mouse trap. She'd put her hand up, it would be snapped. Okay, at the soap, so you imagine you go to hit the soap where you push it down. Well, the mouse trap was right there. Okay, on top of the toilet paper in that same bathroom, these were all loaded, sprung, ready to go. And so I messaged her like, hey, thanks for watching. Please be careful upstairs. And she goes, what does that mean? So she uncovered them all, but she didn't. I had a horse head in the fridge. We had 150 something pack of spiders, snakes,
Wait,
salamanders.
back up.
I know.
You
Same thing to me
you just blew past that like that was
horse's head.
like that was normal. Like the mafia. Like what's happening here?
So I had a horse costume. I don't know
Okay,
why.
that's better.
Yeah, that because
So-
when you say everybody's gonna be like, oh my god, the guy.
No,
is a horse.
no horses were harmed.
I seriously looked on Amazon for a pig's head with the apple in it. Imagine she opens the fridge and that's what was there. Okay, in the freezer, there was those fake bugs everywhere. We had them scattered. So she finally, she messaged us, haha, and then I got some ones like, you're psycho. But the best part was she goes to get in bed at night. Things are finally settled down, and she found a bunch of more spiders, and I guess that got her. So
Did you put mouse traps in the foot of the bed?
no, I didn't want to hurt her.
Did any of the mouse traps get her?
I don't think so.
Okay.
But I texted her like, hey, just a heads up. And then she's like, you're a psycho. I was like, yeah, I got a little overzealous on this. But
Fingers are all bro.
yeah, I
There's
was
always,
back.
What if she posted that? Like, look what happened, House City.
Well,
Her
from
fingers all messed.
from my time as a student pastor, I feel like there was a sitcom about this one time. From my time as a student pastor, I know in the world of pranks, there's always one that takes things way too far.
I think you found her.
I think it's you.
Well, so when I went on a missions trip after my senior year of high school, and my youth pastor, he was an Italian guy, really cared about his dark hair. Like it was just always, I dyed his hair when he was sleeping.
Oh, yeah, that's too far.
Yeah, he strangled me.
And he kept his job?
He did keep his job. So when he's now a head pastor,
He promised not to.
no. He's a head pastor in Massachusetts. He turned himself in. He said there was 2 times in his career in students that he almost got fired, and I was at the center of both of them.
Yeah.
But okay, so Kendall retaliated. I need to keep moving forward.
Both. It's no problem. I was at both of them.
Yeah, I was at the
Who's
center.
that guy
of both of
became
them.
one day? Billy Graham. No.
So I come home and there's a jar with a goldfish in it, and it said there are 8 more in the house somewhere. In that same bathtub, she had goldfish swimming. Had planted them in the
Like
bathtub.
legit living.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So the next plan is I'm going to pretend like those grew bigger and get her back with bigger fish.
Well,
I hope she doesn't listen.
you just said, I hope Kendall watches.
You invited her to listen.
Oh,
and
no.
then you.
Now you're gonna be like,
Okay,
yeah.
don't cut it out. We'll give her a warning. See if she stays on that long.
Yeah, she may not remember that long.
So you tried to get me during students.
We tried to kidnap you. We created a whole crime scene where he'd be distracted by someone laying. We had ketchup laid out, and the door was cracked open.
But see, I know you well enough to where I was like, nope, something ain't right, and my back went to the wall, and they were coming up with
Yeah,
the sheet
yeah.
to hit me. They were like, oh man, like I ain't stupid. I know which house I'm coming to.
We were gonna kidnap you. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you tried to do it to me one time too at a student event.
Yeah.
that didn't work out either. So,
But I tell you, if you ever want to rally some high school boys,
oh yeah,
you just talk about kidnapping someone. Everyone's all in.
Why kidnapping?
Kidnapping.
Don't know, but
this is a very uncomfortable conversation.
So
I think it's funny the idea, but I think
well, last year at Movement, a member of my team convinced someone to give her the keys for something that seemed innocent. They gave them to me, and we moved our student pastor's car, I don't know, 1,000 yards from where they were, and then filled the entire thing with balloons. So that was pretty funny. They walk out to go to their car.
that ain't too bad.
No, that was innocent. We did break into her house also, and
I used to have a.
filled a bathtub.
Break into the.
Now we did the same thing with.
give you the keys,
We did the same thing with balloons, but we had a guy on staff that would literally, I don't know what kind of phobia this would be, but he literally had a phobia of balloons.
What?
Like it was the popping. Like he was always afraid of like one popping around him, and literally, I mean, legit. Like this was legit fear. So what did we do in return? We filled his office full of
Oh
balloons,
gosh.
and he took an airsoft pistol to all of them. And I was like, well, didn't that bother you because it was popping? He goes, I knew that was popping. Like it's when I don't expect it. So yeah, like those things are fun. Remind me to never house sit for you, ever.
I know we got Daniel, the former pastor.
Yeah.
Bobby took them little plastic eggs, filled his car up pretty high with that, and then
But why, like there was a season there, like why was that the thing? Like why was it, hey, let's fill your car up with just random things?
with ping pong.
You,
Or did somebody get your
someone, yeah, Megan did that. Like one of our leaders, Megan, she did that to mine, and then they kind of backfired because then I just opened the door and like got ready to drive away. Like it was just all rolling down the hill, and like so they had to go capture them.
How much did they spend on ping pong balls?
Well, it was the little ball pen, like playpen balls.
Okay.
Yeah, not
Oh, so they were a little bigger.
pit balls.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, pit
Okay.
balls. Yeah,
Okay.
we had bought them for a youth event or something,
Okay.
and they just.
fun.
But we used to have like quality youth ministry pranks like back in the day. Like there was this one where and I don't know who thought this was a great idea. It's probably a terrible idea to do at a youth camp. But they had these two characters. This was back in the early 2000s. And so like every youth camp had like characters, right? And so there was these two characters that they would read camp mail every day. Well, there was this guy, and everyone in the student ministry knew that he liked this girl. And so a few of the guys, I was not a part of this, just to be clear,
Claire's name.
I was near it, but I wasn't a part of it.
And aware of it.
I was aware of it.
And allowed it.
Well, they started writing love letters to her on his behalf
Oh my God.
and sending it to the camp people to read. And and you know, after being a student pastor and looking back, that's one of those things you could predict that's probably going to go terribly wrong at some point in time, and you're going to have to reel it back in. But no one at this camp thought like beyond the moment, and they were like, this is going to be hilarious. And so it finally, the camp ended. This was super awkward. It ended with like her writing a rejection letter and sending it back, sending it to the camp people to read. And we're like, oh, this is getting real.
Ways fast.
This is getting real and awkward real quick.
So when I was in high school, we took a retreat to New Hampshire with our youth group, and it was snowing. It was snowing bad. And so when the girls woke up the next day, the guys had built a wall so they couldn't get out of there.
You locked them in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
Yeah.
Just because the roof kind of came down, you just filled in the gaps. there was already a few feet of snow. We just piled it up higher.
Just piled it up.
And then packed it down a little.
And then let it get cold again and freeze it all good. And,
Oh, that was funny.
yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, so you did all that. So how many mouse traps did you buy?
12.
You bought 12 mouse traps, had mouse traps all around your house.
153 variety pack from Amazon, spiders, salamanders, snakes.
Your wife's going to be finding them throughout
Well, I went into the freezer today to get a Hot Pocket, and there was like a dozen in there.
next to the horse's head.
You have to count them to make sure you got them.
Got them all.
We only have 151. We're missing 2.
Where are they?
Well, that's like, you ever, it kind of makes me think of, you ever put up a ceiling fan when you're putting a ceiling fan together, they always give you one extra screw in the box.
Drives you nuts.
It drives me nuts because I'm always like, is that
Is that an important one?
is that an important one?
So your guys' attitude's a little different. I'm like,
Free screw.
it's working fine right
Is
now.
one of these blades going to come flying off in my sleep?
Goodness gracious. Well, we are coming up on our first break. We'll take a break, and then when we get back, we'll pick up the book of James. Well, we'll continue. We've been picking it up for.
Yeah.
They got the point. All right, we'll be back. Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. We're so glad you're here. Are you lamenting over here? What's happening?
Just thinking about, like, I only got a couple weeks at home.
Your travel schedule?
And in September, it's like, I think I got 1 week at home.
No.
Just
Well, you want Andy to house sit for you?
absolutely not. My wife will be home. I think.
You
If
think?
not, I'll volunteer.
Yeah. Yeah, he'll house sit for you though. No, tell him what you'll come back
Have
to.
you ever tried to put a saddle on Loki? Loki?
Lukey.
No.
Loki.
No, he won't let you.
To be clear, Loki is his dog, by
It's
the way.
170. How big is he?
175.
He's a horse.
That thing is huge.
He's a horse.
He's a big baby, but yeah, he won't let you put anything on his back. Because
No.
as soon as like we try to get the grandbabies to sit on his back, he sits right down.
Oh.
And I've taught him because my wife and daughter like to dress the dog.
No.
And he gets very
Wait,
upset.
what?
Like they'll want to put shirts on him.
Okay.
Unless I okay it, he won't wear it. He'll get very upset.
He needs your approval?
Yeah. Oh, whatever dad does, it's gotta have dad's approval.
Okay.
He could be his replacement for this.
Just Loki, just have Loki just sit.
Oh, everybody
Yeah.
would love
The
it.
drool.
Yeah.
He would just sit there and be like, "What are we doing?"
It would look just like Randy.
Yeah, identical. The gray and everything. But so Andy's available to house sit for you if you need him to.
Absolutely.
You'll come back to some
I think I'll ask my aunt to.
surprises.
She's the one that hand feeds him. When she comes, she'll hand feed him, and he loves it. It's ridiculous.
Well, we are in verse 13 today, so we're picking up with 13. Last week, we kind of backed up and looked at a few verses that we kind of moved past pretty quickly. But so verse 13, and I thought this was really good. So I'll read it, and then we can discuss it. But chapter 4, verse 13 of James says this. It says, "Now listen, you who say, 'Today or tomorrow we will go to this or that city, spend a year there, carry on business, and make money.' Why? You do not even know what will happen tomorrow. What is your life? You are a mist that appears for a little while and then vanishes. Instead, you ought to say, 'If it's the Lord's will, we will live and do this or that.' As it is, you boast in your arrogant schemes, and all such boasting is evil." So, reading that, what do you guys? What are some of your initial thoughts when you hear that?
I'm afraid to tell people what my plans are. I mean, because normally when you talk about tomorrow, you're like, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. Here, it's basically saying, if the Lord allows it,
Yeah.
I'm going to be doing this. Meaning, if the Lord wakes me up,
Yeah.
what I'm gonna do.
Well, and I think it's a mindset. When I was a kid, I took this very literally because I was like, I gave my life to Jesus at a young age. And so when I heard this for the very first time as a young kid, like, I took it very literally. Like, you can't say, what you're going to do. You can't say anything. Like, you got to put the prefix of if the Lord wills, Lord willing, we're going to. And I don't really think that's exactly what he means here. I think what he's talking about is your attitude about how you view your life, right? Like, of course, there's nothing wrong with saying that. Nothing wrong with, hey, if the Lord wills, next summer we'll go on a vacation
I'm
or
gonna use that for my next work trip.
hey, Randy, we need you to come to Kentucky. Well, if the Lord wills, but
With the way he's been crossing intersections.
right. Well, I think it's more of a mindset of like James is trying to say, hey, he's not saying you can't make plans, right? He's not saying that you can't plan ahead. What he's saying is check your pride and realize, I think that part of, you're a mist that appears for a little while and then vanishes. I think it's that mindset of accepting that reality of, hey, we're only here for a short period of time. And as believers, this world isn't our home.
Well, and I mean, they talk about, what's happened in the past can't weigh you down. And then what's happening in the future isn't certain.
Right.
The only thing that is the present, the moment. And so that's the part that really resonates with me there is, focus on what your relationship is with God and the interactions you're having with people in the present, because there's no promise for the future.
Absolutely.
So I still have tons of plans. I'm a planner.
Yeah.
But I do need to also recognize that, each day given to me is a gift from God, and I need to recognize that and live in the moment.
Well, and recognizing, not only that, but that changes the way that you view your life. Like when you view it as, hey, every day's a gift, you're going to treat it that way, right?
Yeah.
And every day is for the Lord. It's going to change the way, because you ever been around someone, that was like a deep planner of like, and they've always got like these huge, like, I'm going to go to college and I'm going to do this and I'm going to like accomplish all these different things. And next thing you know, they're like, I'm going to be president. Like they've got all these like crazy plans, when the reality is, go back to when you were, 20 years old, right? Like, think about the plans that you have. Did God ever take those in a different direction than you expected?
Absolutely.
100%, right?
Well, I'm gonna assume so, because if everybody knew me at my 20s, I just went with the wind, So I never made plans. I mean,
Just kind of went with it.
I was that planner.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to go to college. I'm going to get a job. I'm going to buy
Here's
a
my
house.
10-year
I'm
plan.
going to make this amount of money. I'm going to have a nice fence. I might get a dog.
Yeah.
I'm going to get married. I'm going to have 2 redheads. Wait a minute. No, I'm just kidding.
What is it? What is the, I'm going to have 2.5 kids? Like, what's the 0.5?
Good Lord willing.
Lord willing. But
I was going with what the Lord gave, and today we were going to do this. Tomorrow I didn't worry about until I woke up.
well, and I think that's more of like what he's talking about here is hey, he says, you don't even know what will happen tomorrow. What is your life? It's a mist. And he's saying, look, every day belongs to the Lord. As believers, every day belongs to the Lord for us. And so I think the point is, hey, one, don't focus, like, kind of like what you said, Andy, don't focus so much on all those things that you miss what God's doing right here, but also don't be so prideful and walk around assuming that, you've got that time.
Yeah, and you're entitled to it, right?
You're entitled to there. I think that's the word. I think
Right.
I think that's the problem that James is pushing against of, hey, we're not every day that we get's a blessing, right? Like, we're not entitled to another moment on this earth, but yet how many times do we live that way?
Well, and I think the biggest obstacle to living in the present, there are planners like myself out there, and so I need to work on that, but is things that you've done in the past, people just can't move on
Yeah.
from. And I think that's that weight that they carry with them. And that's not from the Bible either, and that's not from God.
In last episode, we talked about, remembering the pain of your sin, right? Yeah. Like, and there's a difference between remembering the pain and letting your past hold you down or hold you back. Like,
Yep.
by no means are we suggesting that you need to let all of your sins kind of just loom in the background. And that's not what we're talking about. We're saying, hey, don't forget the consequences that came from that, so you don't do it again. Like, don't just walk around and carry it like a backpack of like, well, I can't do anything for God because of X, Y, and Z. This is what I did.
Why would God love me? Why would
Right.
God use me as a vessel? Why, I'm broken. Well, how do you think most of the disciples or the people in the
Get in
Bible?
line.
Yeah,
Everyone
get
in the
line. That's
Bible.
a good way to say it.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
I had a discussion about that actually on my work trip, because somebody said, I couldn't do that. Of everything I've done wrong, there's no way. Like, you think everybody's perfect that goes to church, or even pastors? They've all done something from a little lie to a major thing.
Peter denied Jesus.
I know, well, we don't like to compare because sin is sin, but I didn't kill anyone.
Paul murdered. Like, and I know we've made that joke on here before. I think we made that joke on here before of, could you imagine Paul, like at his first assignment, like he shows up and like, everyone's like, wait, who's showing up?
Yeah. They're scared.
Yeah. Like,
Lord, I lift your name on. They're like, what?
like, hey, we got Michael here. Don't let him take him in the back. Right. Like,
He's cutting his steak.
wait, it's like, wait, who's bringing the food? Paul's bringing the food?
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm full.
Paul, he looks a lot like Saul.
Yeah. He looks very familiar here.
Does he have a brother?
Yeah. Well, and the thing is that I think that's a great example of and I've heard like countless people say that of like, well, Josh, you don't know what I've done.
Right.
And it's that whole like using that kind of to hold them back, and the enemy's using that to hold them back. When the reality is no, if you've given your heart to Jesus, like you've been forgiven of that. He's paid for that. Now go and make disciples. Like that's the job that he's given you to go do.
I think people don't understand that is your sin that you did from the past is behind you, and Jesus was sacrificed for that. But from this moment on, you need to forget about it and move on and make disciples and spend that, get a relationship with Jesus and keep moving on about what God did and
Be free from it. Yeah.
be free from it and move on past that to now grow your faith, help others grow their faith of you stepped in stupid, but look at where I came to now. I mean,
Right.
Saul and Paul, you know what I mean? Saul was one person, Paul was a different person, but he moved on
Right.
to be a better person.
It doesn't matter where you are or how far gone you might think you might be. You could be sitting in a prison cell. And you could be sitting in a prison cell right now and be leading a Bible study, and God can be using you. There could be all kinds of things going on. You could be leading people to Jesus from that prison cell, doing what God's called you to do.
And I've met one that, funny enough, from Kentucky that was in prison, and because of his thing, he read the Bible and learned more about Jesus. So when we go up there, we have conversations about it, and people look at him and go, I really can't see you being that person. Because of, the way he kind of looks and maybe acts. Because, I mean, he's a good person, but he's still a little goofy.
Yeah.
But when
What's
they
wrong
hear him
with
talk,
goofy?
they hear,
He went too far with some pranks and
yeah, he went way too far.
Mouse trapping.
yeah.
So, I mean, and when we talk about, they're just shocked he knows so much about the Bible, and we have deep conversations because he has questions still about some of it, and we have that, and they're just like, I just can't see it, Jared.
No. Well, the thing is the following Jesus gets painted as, hey, it's for, people who've got it all together. No, absolutely not.
Yep.
It's for the broken people, because guess what? We're all broken in our own way. It doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter if you feel like you're at the top of your game or you're at rock bottom. God's got a plan for you, and God wants to use you for his kingdom. He wants to give you a purpose. But I love that because, you're not called to be looking back. You're not called. And I know that it sounds contradictory. So once again, let's clarify that it's not meant to hold you down. Like you remember the consequences of your sin. You remember, hey, the point of remembering that is to say, hey, I don't want to go back there.
To learn from it.
Yep.
And put preventative measures to prevent you from doing it again.
Right. Like remembering like who I used to be, right? You don't want to go back and be that person again.
Yep.
And so you put things in place. That's why Jesus said, hey, if your hand causes you to sin, cut it off. If your eye causes you to gouge it out. Like, he's not promoting self-mutilation, okay? Like, otherwise, like, none of us are walking. Like, if you come back next week and you have a hook for a hand, wouldn't that be kind of
This
cool?
finger.
Right. Well, he's talking about setting those things up in place. Like if you struggle, I know we always pick on alcohol, but if you struggle with alcohol, you probably shouldn't go to the bar, right? Like that's probably not a good place for you to be when you're, just starting out trying to get away from that, or, you fill in the blank. Like we talk about, like last week we gave the example of, the guy flirting with the girl at his office, like who's got a wife and kids at home, right? Like you need to set up boundaries in place. Like if that's something that you're struggling with, and actually probably in general, like, cause take a look at David in the Bible. David was a man after God's own heart, but yet he still,
Yeah.
did everything that he did. Like as men, we need to be mindful that that's a very dangerous area, but it's setting those things up in place to keep you. It's because it's not you put that much distance between you and that sin because you don't want to fall into that trap.
Yeah.
So yeah, funny story about that is, so at work, of course I travel, and I gotta have meetings, and some people you meet with are women. Well, I won't meet with them by themselves. It's not gonna happen. Well, Dino sometimes, the president, will go, yeah, just meet with them of the company. Go ahead and meet with them. Danny, his sidekick, will go, Randy's not gonna do that. Goes, why? He goes, it's him and a woman. One of us has to go with him, or he's got to have somebody else with him. Like he knows my boundaries, and it's just like 360. I have 360, so my wife can keep track of where I'm at, because we're all able to fall in stupid.
Absolutely.
And I'll call her as soon as I'm done, so she knows where I'm at, and call her until I go to sleep, just for my protection.
Yeah.
But for her, I mean, is she worried? No.
You don't want to give the enemy any room to plant that in her mind. And the thing is those boundaries in place. One, I think that's godly. There's people that look at that and they go, well, you're just overreacting. Like here's the thing with that. I'd rather be considered overreacting and not step into that than the other way around. And like when I used to meet with students, and there was times like I had to meet with a female student, right? Like a teenage girl. And this was back when I had an office space. I wouldn't have an office without a window. And I certainly would, anytime that I had to meet with a female student, if it was a situation where I couldn't bring in another female leader into the room with us, I would have them sit outside the door. And people look at that and go, oh my gosh, that's just overreacting. No, it's to make sure, one, Thessalonians talks about not even having the appearance of evil. And so it's, one, when you're dealing with teenagers, you have that whole thing of, one, you won't have witnesses around you, right? Like you don't ever meet in that, don't put yourself in a compromising position where a he said, she said, or anything like that could come up. But at the same time, it was that accountability piece too of, hey, I don't want anyone to even have the ability to think that something like that would happen, right? Also, it's that protection thing, like you talk about with a coworker, right? Like it's a boundary, and boundaries are healthy, and boundaries are good.
Yeah, because I won't even, the people at the office, if only one's going to go, we're not going at all. And when we have a meeting, because in that office there's one guy and two women, but there's a bunch of other people from the facility, but we're having a meeting with both the women, or we're having a meeting as a whole, because I'm not doing it by myself. We're not going to go to a conference room. We're going to do it out here where everybody can see us.
Yeah.
For that, because I don't want to put it in anybody's mind of any thoughts that could potentially get to my wife and then put thoughts in her head, because I don't want to put her through that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I would feel you guys are the same way with that,
I have no idea how we got to this topic from
I did think of a really good prank though.
What?
So if we took Randy's phone with that Life 360 and put it in a boat and put it in the middle of the lake and then text his wife, have you seen Randy? Then she goes and looks for it and he shows him in the middle.
Once again, too far, Andy. Too
He's
far.
Safe.
Too far. You're gonna have like
That
search
would
and
be
rescue.
Hilarious.
Somebody's going in this group. Somebody's going to jail for something that went too far.
Too far.
It's probably
Too far.
Randy's going to take the fall.
Once again, you always know who that guy is in a group because when you're planning a prank, he's the guy that's like, we're gonna zip time and we're gonna put him in the back and you're like, and when everyone else turns and just kind of looks and's like, do you hear yourself?
I'm just kidding. But it would be funny, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But seriously.
Yeah, that's the justification. That's the justification. But seriously, guys, I'll get the zip ties.
Anyone else here?
Oh. But
I got zip ties.
yeah, but
Carry him with you? Yeah, all the time.
But yeah, I think that's a good thought of. I have no idea how we got from boasting about tomorrow to boundaries, but going back, looking back at the scripture, I think Andy, you drove it home with one, focusing on today, because that's the only thing that we're promised, right? Mm-hmm. Like we're not even promised today, but you're just living in today, right?
Kind of here right now.
You're here. You're currently present. but also recognizing that, you know, our lives are just a vapor, especially compared to God, who is eternal, right? And trusting him with our future and not letting that's how we got there, because of the past, not letting our past hold us back. And so I think that's
And learning from our past and setting boundaries.
setting boundaries.
That's how we got there.
There we go.
That's how we got there.
Connect the dots.
Somebody also once said about that your past net. You're sitting. If look at it as you're sitting in a car and you're looking forward, you're looking at the possible future of what you're driving to, but live in the moment of the present. It's called the present because it's an opening. It's new. It's something exciting. You don't know what's going to happen, but it's a present, right? Because the future's up there, and the rearview mirror is your past. What's behind you? Quit looking at the rearview mirror and look forward to your future.
Hey, I think there's
Something like that.
I'm pretty sure.
Said.
I'm pretty sure there's a passage in Proverbs that talks about how you can't plow a field looking backwards.
Not well.
Not well. Not well.
Well, I don't know. They've got autonomous tractors now to where you just
Well, they were using donkeys then, but
Yeah.
but that's about all the time we got. And so I guess the key takeaway this week is hey, your past and your future can affect you, but focus on what you can do for God today, and not let your past hold you back. But also, don't get so focused on what's ahead that you miss what He's doing right now.
like your next prank.
That's it. Yeah. And also stay away from Andy and pranks. So we're going to wrap this up. When we come back next week, we will pick up, further into, chapter 5. And so looking forward to that. And so, that's all the time we got. You guys have a great week.
Peace.
Thanks for listening to the Words with Woodsman podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen. And if you're watching on YouTube, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a new episode. We'll see you next time.